Welcome students to ND's English Grammar channel on YouTube. In this video, I have more questions of different types of questions from English topic CBSE, non-CBSE class 10, a letter to God. Here the first question, as you can see, literal question, which is direct and easy. The question is, who was Lancho? What were the main problems? Lancho was hard-working farmer who lived on the crest of a low hill. His main problems were destruction of his crops due to hailstorm and needing money to sow his field and to support his family. What did Lancho hope for? Lancho hoped for good rain as it was much needed for a good harvest. What did the postmaster do after reading Lancho's letter? The postmaster laughed initially, but he became serious. Moved by the faith in God, he decided to collect money and send it to Lancho on behalf of God. So you can see these are direct questions which are called literal. Then inferential questions. Here you have to draw conclusion from the given text, quote or statements, or from the question. Why did Lancho compare the raindrops to new coins? This question also can be called comparison based questions. Lancho compared raindrops to new coins because they promised a good harvest resulting in more prosperity. Why did the postmaster send money to Lancho? The postmaster sent money to Lancho to keep his faith in God alive and firm. What can be inferred about Lancho's personality? Lancho was a simple, naive, and hard-working farmer with strong faith in God. Now, critical thinking question. Do you think the post office employees were a branch of crooks? Here you have to justify from your understanding of the topic. If necessary, you have to quote a few lines from the topic. The answer is like this. No, they were kind, generous, and helpful persons who contributed to Lancho's cause. Why did Lancho call the post office employees a bunch of crooks? Was he right? Lancho called them crooks because he believed that they stole 30 pesos from the money God sent him. However, he was not right to call them so. How are the conflicts between human and nature illustrated in the story? The conflict is illustrated by the destruction of Lancho's crop by the hailstorm, highlighting the vulnerability of human endeavors to natural disasters. Now, creative questions. These are completely from your knowledge, your imagination, and construction. Describe the view from Lancho's house. Lancho's house was situated on the crest of a low hill, and one could easily see the river, the field of ripe corn from there. How would you describe Lancho's feelings when the hail stopped? Lancho's soul was filled with sadness and he was troubled, knowing his crops was totally destroyed. Contextual question. What historical context is relevant to understanding Lancho's struggles? Understanding the dependence on agriculture and the impact of natural disasters on farmers' livelihood. How does Lancho's faith in God relate to the story's themes? Lancho's faith highlights the themes of hope, resilience, and human need for support and guidance. Now, open-ended question. Discuss the significance of Lancho's faith in God. Lancho's faith in God gives him hope and strength in times of crisis, showcasing the power of faith in human life. What message do you think the story conveys about human nature? The story conveys that humans are capable of kindness, generosity, and empathy as seen in the postmaster's action. Now, literal questions. Who was Lancho? What were his main problems? Lancho was a hard-working farmer who lived on the crest of a low hill. His main problems were the destruction of his crops due to hailstorm and needing money to sow his field again and support his family. What did Lancho hope for? Lancho hoped for a good rain as it was much needed for his crops. So students, these are direct questions and these are literal questions. And here also other inferential questions repeated and critical thinking questions